The ideas so far produced are insufficient for the interpretation of the dream. A piece of creative writing, like a daydream, is a continuation of, and a substitute for, what was once the play of childhood. I cannot think of any need in childhood as strong as the need for a father's protection. For those particular illusions there may well have been a past. It is problematic, however, if there is now much of a future. If you want your wife to listen to you, then talk to another woman, she will be all ears. Where does a thought go when it's forgotten? To love one's neighbor as oneself, a commandment which is really justified by the fact that nothing else runs as strongly counter to the original nature of man. The madman is a dreamer awake. Most people do not really want freedom, because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. Words were originally magic, and the word retains much of its old magical power even today. Loneliness and darkness have just robbed me of my valuables. Psychoanalysis is in essence a cure through love. Couldn't I for once have you and the work at the same time? Everywhere I go I find that a poet has been there before me. Love and work, work and love. That's all there is. The words for much that remains mute in me. The liberty of the individual is no gift of civilization. It was greatest before there was any civilization. The only person with whom you have to compare ourselves, is that you in the past. And the only person better you should be, this is who you are now? The scope of one's personality is defined by the magnitude of that problem which is capable of driving a person out of his wits. I've been a fortunate man in life. Nothing has come easily. Love is a state of temporary psychosis. Everyone has wishes which he would not like to tell to others, which he does not want to admit even to himself. Poets are masters of us ordinary men, in the knowledge of the mind, because they drink at streams which we have not yet made accessible to science. The goal of all life is death. It is the relation of similarity, congruence, or convergence, the just like, which dreams have the most various means of expressing better than anything else. If you can't do it, give up. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. At first this gives the impression that the psychical intensity 7 of the particular ideas was not taken into consideration at all in their selection for the dream, but only the varying nature and degree of their determination. Time spent with cats is never wasted. We choose not randomly each other. We meet only those who already exists in our subconscious. Freud reveled in linguistic play, but, despite his appreciation of painting and especially sculpture, he did not know what to make of visual imagery in dreams. A strong egoism is a protection. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. All who seek to be nobler than their constitution permits come to neurosis. They would have been better in health if they had found it possible to be morally worse. If youth knew, if age could. Words have a magical power. They can either bring the greatest happiness or the deepest despair. As a scientific rationalist, Freud distrusts the manifest content of dreams. The first requisite of civilization is that of justice. Out of your vulnerabilities will come your strength. It is precisely the minor differences in people who are otherwise alike that form the basis of feelings of strangeness and hostility between them. All family life is organized around the most damaged person in it. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. May we not be justified in reaching the diagnosis that, under the influence of cultural urges, some civilizations, or some epochs of civilization, possibly the whole of mankind, have become neurotic. The voice of the intellect is a soft one, but it does not rest until it has gained a hearing. Whoever possesses something that is at once valuable and fragile is afraid of other people's envy, insofar as he projects onto them the envy he would have felt in their place. Words call forth effects and are the universal means of influencing human beings. How bold one gets when one is sure of being loved. We should picture the instrument that carries our mental functioning as resembling a compound microscope or photographic apparatus. We live in very remarkable times. We find with astonishment that progress has concluded an alliance with barbarism. Who lacks sex speaks about sex, hungry talks about food, a person who has no money, about money, and our oligarchs and bankers talk about morality.